The views and opinions expressed on this show are 100% entertainment. Don't take any of this to the bank. It will say insufficient funds.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brad, and with me is Jamie, and this is Loose Cannons 44, Episode 3. Jamie, how you doing, man?
Dude, I look old. Oh, my God. Georgia ain't made for this, Brad.
It is literally freezing. Like,
Oh.
I guess all of America right now, for the most part, is experiencing this Arctic blast. Like, I even saw where they're having the iguanas fall out of the trees again in Florida. So in Miami, they have a watch your head warning for iguanas falling.
I know those folks in Minnesota are laughing at us. God only gives you what you can handle, but I'm about at my handling point now, dude. Oh.
Yeah, it's cold. Like, it is. If you didn't know this, we don't have heat in the studio. So that's why we're bundled up every week, because it is cold. Well, we do have a heater. It's doing all it can. It's cold, man. It's about 49 degrees inside the studio. It's about 32, something like that outside. So
if I had thought about it better, about October, I should let my nut hair grow out to keep my balls warm.
You would have thought better of it, but you didn't think.
It's a natural warming nest.
Speaking of cold, did you see that Buffalo Bills game on Monday? They literally had to shovel your way into your seats.
They used the community to shovel the field.
I know. That was
pretty
awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
I want to go to a Bills game in the blizzard.
Oh my goodness.
I want to experience that. Like, I know it's going to be cold. I know it'll be miserable, but man, it just looks like so much fun.
I thought it was really cool when they scored and everybody started throwing snow in the
air. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, So this weekend, the Bills are going to play the Kansas City Chiefs. And did you know last week the Kansas City Chiefs game against Miami was the most streamed live event in history on Peacock?
I believe it. What are your feelings about Nikki Swift being there?
I really don't care. I think it's comical to me.
Taylor Swift, not Nikki.
It's comedy.
It's calming to you?
It's calming.
Are you a Swiftie?
No,
I'm a Swiftie.
I think it's funny. Like, all these Kansas City Chiefs fans are getting pissed that all people talk about is Taylor Swift when they talk about the Chiefs now. So it's like you can't have one without the other. And all these Taylor Swift fans, which is millions of girls,
might be billions,
are now fans of the Chiefs.
I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I'm not a Swiftie, but man, I respect her business acumen. I couldn't say that again. I think I even pronounced it right.
I think you even used it correctly.
Wow.
Hey, if this was a spelling bee, could you spell it?
ACU, is it MEN or MAN?
Oh, you're asking me?
I don't know.
What's the word again?
Acumen.
Acumen. ACQM.
Sure, why not?
I just make up letters even. It's easier that way. Just make up the letters. No, I could care less. Like, I don't like Taylor Swift's music. It's just not my thing. If you like
catchy, it, dude.
I mean, that's
I don't
good.
listen. If I hear it at the store, I'm like,
most people don't like my music either. That's okay. Like, I like emo music. Not a lot of people like emo music anymore. I don't like Taylor Swift. It's okay though.
I like grunge.
I like grunge, but I don't like Taylor Swift. If you do, that's great. That's your thing. I don't care.
Soundgarden and Nirvana, dude. STP.
Yeah, but literally, they couldn't go to a Chiefs game. So,
are they banned?
No, I mean, they're not around no more.
Well, some of them have died, not all of them.
Enough.
Dude, their ghost could go.
Well, their ghost might already go. We just don't know it.
Oh, no, let's say it properly. Their souls could go. Maybe.
Also, last week, Apple overtook Samsung as the largest provider of smartphones in the world. So Apple's at like 19%. Samsung's now at 18%.
That's shocking because I really thought Apple already owned the world.
Well, Apple owned
America. Canada? Do they own Canada?
Yeah, I think the Canadians, they give a free phone. They have like the Obama phones, but theirs are iPhones. Where our Obama phones.
Yeah, but they're socialist countries, so.
Remember, our Obama phones are flip phones.
Someone told me that
beep, beep.
George Bush started it, and we
I never got a Bush
We
phone.
is no Bush.
No Bush. No Bush
Bush
phone.
is a good band too.
Bush. Oh, I really like Bush. 16 Stone.
Uh-huh.
One of the greatest albums of all time. I truly think that. Every song on that album's good. Like, literally, every song on that album. And that don't happen nowadays.
Do you like Bush or Landing Strips? Or
Bush. 16 Stone. I'm not going there with you. I'm going to stick with the band, the grunge band.
Well, you know, I'm studying to be a pilot. I like Landing Strips better.
Glycerine.
That's a great song, Glycerine.
I would not get in an airplane with you.
No one will.
You scare the crap out of me in a car. Much less
my instructor doesn't want to fly with me.
I don't blame him.
I keep going, could this plane do a loop?
Loop-de-loop.
He's like, don't try it.
Like, no, Jamie will make you, anybody who don't think they get nervous riding in the car needs to ride in the car with this guy.
The problem is I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
Jamie, we need to get off here.
I'm going to wreck that dude. We need to get
off here. Jamie, we need to get off here. Jamie, I got it. Jamie, there goes oh! And it just, we're jumping ditches. We're through the grass.
I've never jumped ditch. Maybe hit a pylon.
Yeah.
Full of water.
We almost got taken out by an F-350 in Daytona because you thought he was going to back off.
That guy was a moron. He had a $100,000 truck and he wouldn't give in to an old beat-up Prius.
No.
He's an idiot.
Scared the crap out of me.
What a moron.
You're the moron who kept pushing it.
Most people let me in when I decided to come in.
Well, he didn't. Thank God the brakes worked on that Prius. Yeah. Honestly, though, when we drove across the country, I don't remember ever like fearing for my life or my safety in the car.
We really didn't see traffic until 3 a.m. in LA.
Yeah, well, that's because the Grammys had just let out. We didn't really know that going into LA, but we found that out the next day.
I saw people doing Grammys while driving.
They were doing something. Is that what he had?
Oh, at the public park, there was a lot of people doing Grammys.
Oh, yeah. 1 or 2 Grammys at a time. You never know. California was the most expensive state in 2023 to buy groceries in.
I think they're increasing their taxes, so it's going to be even more expensive in 2024.
Okay, well, you think they'll hold on to the number 1 spot in 2024 is what you're saying?
I think eventually everyone's going to leave and the grocery store owners will have to lower prices.
What sucks, man, is it's beautiful weather in California. I hate the politics, but the weather's absolutely beautiful.
I hate the homeless issue too, but
politics creates
California probably has the best.
That's because the weather's beautiful. That's why there's homelessness.
It's the best weather in America, I think.
And that's why there's homelessness. It makes sense, right?
Do you know that they're probably making the cost of tents go up?
Probably. Used to be, it was a starter home, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom starter home. Now it's a 1-room tent, starter tent.
Well, some of those RVs look like they had to be towed there.
Oh, some of the RVs were parked inside a tent. That's how bad the RVs were. They needed a tent over them.
I wonder where you go buy or Airbnb a broken down RV on a park in California. Think there's a homeless person that'll rent us their RV?
Probably.
Airbnb. $16 a night.
Remember in New York City, like there was a criminal organization in New York City who were renting out passenger vans that were just parked on the side of the street in downtown New York, Airbnb in it.
Well, you know,
they got caught. They shut that down.
We've named them in other podcasts, but we went to a fantastic diner in downtown New York. Did you notice that they were owned by the mafia?
Were they?
You didn't see those dudes doing nothing, sitting in the corner with no food, staring at all the customers?
I mean, the nicest people I met in New York City were in that diner.
Oh, no.
Actually, the nicest people we met on our whole entire Cannonball Run trip.
The best food we ate on the entire trip.
Phenomenal pancakes. You remember their name?
Murray Hill Diner.
Murray Hill Diner. Hey, if you're in New York City and you're looking for a good pancake.
Good mafia. Waffle, too.
Yeah, they had
coffee.
Really good. Yeah.
That waitress from the Bronx was phenomenal.
She grew up on a farm in the Bronx. I mean,
I don't think they had farms in the Bronx, but I let her roll with her story.
Hey, you know what? She was just trying to have a conversation with 2 boys from Georgia.
Do you think I told her I lived in a rural area. I think she's trying to get a better tip.
I mean, we tipped her. It worked.
Well, I mean,
it worked.
I think the food and refilling her coffee constantly was what gave her the great tip.
Well, speaking of California, Florida man behavior in the news this week. The first thing we're going to go, or the first state we're going to go to is California. So, a California man is arrested after stripping naked on a kids' ride at Disneyland while high on drugs. Disneyland guest on the It's a Small World ride got an unexpected show when a man stripped naked and got up close and personal with some of the set pieces on the iconic ride. You ever been on that ride, It's a Small World?
Yes. I didn't take my clothes off.
It's a miserable ride. But Disneyland officials did confirm and said that the man stepped out of the ride's vehicle as the attraction was in operation and that park employees stopped the ride as soon as they were made aware of the situation. The 26-year-old man was arrested for indecent exposure and being under the influence of a controlled substance. He was taken to the hospital and then taken to jail. Multiple posts on social media shows this man in his birthday suit walking around the Small World ride and the park.
What kind of drugs do you think he was doing?
It didn't say.
Now, what kind of drugs you think makes you take your clothes off?
I'm thinking meth.
Well,
I'm thinking meth because it's like every stupid thing we read about somebody doing, they're high on meth.
so my freshman year in college.
You did meth?
No, I didn't.
got-
no.
You got naked?
I did, and
Yeah.
I was high. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. We were at MTV Spring Break.
Yeah.
In Daytona.
Okay.
And a friend of mine, Rich. Hi, Rich. If you ever see this,
That's his name.
Rich.
Oh, okay.
That's his legal name.
Well, I thought maybe you were saying he is rich. No, that's what
His parents had money. His dad was a diplomat in some country in Africa.
Okay.
So they would bring, when they traveled, they'd bring the diplomatic pouch.
Yeah. Keep him out of trouble.
He would put mushrooms in there, magic mushrooms. So he had those at that spring break. We're sitting there watching
Did it make you hot?
MTV. Well, I don't remember. I was just naked in the Volusia County jail. And
Dude, tripping in jail sounds
I was
horrible.
taking these mushrooms that Rich had brought from I don't even remember what country. It was in Africa. I do know that. His parents, he had brought it back.
There's some African mushrooms.
Yeah, African
They're
cow
probably good.
poop mushrooms.
Probably good ones.
Well, they were slow. I mean, they took like 2 hours to hit.
Time release.
So I'm sitting there. That was back in the day where you'd drink beer, watch MTV, waiting to go. It was in that time between when the sun's behind the condo, so there's no sun at the beach, and you're waiting for the clubs to open at night. So you're hanging out in the condo, drinking, doing Rich's mushrooms. And I'm like, dude, I was like, Rich, dude. And I was already drunk. I was like, dude, these are duds. You got the wrong shrooms, man. And he's like, no, dude, they work.
Just take time.
And so me and some other buddies, Glenn, hey Glenn, I'm using legal names now.
He's calling everybody
Yeah.
out. He's trying to get rid of the rest of his friends.
Then all of a sudden, I see a video on MTV. And in the video, remember those barrels of monkeys, the plastic ones you put
Yeah.
on the barrel and
Yeah, the game.
I see a barrel of monkeys on the video on MTV. And then the monkeys fly out of the barrel on their own and line up perfectly around the barrel while the barrel's floating in the air, and they're all singing.
And you were just
I'm like,
watching.
and I was mesmerized. I was like, hey guys, to me it was in 3D. That is the most amazing video ever, man. And they're like, dude, it's poison. You've seen them 100 times. No, it's a barrel of monkeys. And they're like, nah, dude, that's poison. And I don't remember anything after that until apparently it was the next morning.
Volusia County Jail.
I'm in a jumpsuit in the Volusia County Jail.
Huh.
My buddies told me they had to tackle me out on the beach, running down the beach naked. That was after they.
Was there 747s involved, were there?
That was back when they allow kids to be kids.
Yeah, and do mushrooms.
So they
it
had
was okay to be a kid and do mushrooms back in the 70s.
they had to pass the hat.
80s, 90s.
Like 80. It was 88.
88. Back in 88, that was normal behavior for a teenager.
They had to gather $100. So
mushrooms in Volusia County Jail naked.
They passed the hat.
That's a good weekend, right?
I got out the next day.
Well, in Indiana,
They let me keep the jumpsuit, by the way.
another naked man.
Jeez.
A naked Indiana man says he was only trying to spread some love while experiencing a spiritual awakening, is arrested while waving to passing drivers. An Indiana man is facing indecent exposure charges, among others, after police said he stood naked in the driveway and waved at people driving by on the highway during what the man called a spiritual awakening.
So is that protected by the religious freedoms guaranteed in the Constitution?
He said he was just trying to spread some love, man.
Did he have an erection when he was trying to spread that love, or was it?
So, according to the court documents, the man freely revealed that he had indeed been masturbating in the nude and told the officers he thought it was acceptable behavior. So, yes, he's having a spiritual experience, standing in his driveway naked, masturbating, waving at passerbys. People on the highway just Jake breaks it. He's just standing there.
He was Jake breaking.
Hi.
Oh my goodness.
It's me. I'm just he said he was trying to spread some love.
Some love jelly.
One of his first name was Jesse Love.
Ooh.
Jesse Love. That's
he's a
race car driver.
He's also, isn't he a quarterback for Green Bay too?
Jesse Love.
And there's loves all over the place.
Love.
I used to know a Love family that lived next door.
Dr. Love.
Actually, my cousin had a Dr. Love that lived next to him.
So when police asked if he was high on anything, the man admitted that he had been using meth, but had just decided he was going to stop.
I think meth is probably a bad choice.
Well, he was charged with indecent exposure and possession of meth. This was not the first time. Police had been called out to this man's house multiple times.
Is he naked every time?
Every time he's showing his wiener to passerbyers. You'd think they'd make him move. Or if the city really cared that much, they'd put a wall up in front of his house like a sound barrier. Then he couldn't hear the cars, and then they couldn't see him whacking his wiener.
In this day and age with the technology we have, he can find a man or a woman to assist him with his needs by swiping left or right on an app.
I don't think he's looking for assistance.
He's a show-off then.
He just wants people to see him playing with his wiener in his driveway. That's all.
I never want anyone to watch me play with my wiener.
You never did?
No.
Thank God. And for that, Jamie, we are all thankful. On behalf of me and all the people viewing
350 million people in America.
350 million people viewing this show right now. We are so thankful you don't masturbate in your driveway.
And the 50 million illegal aliens in America
that are watching.
There might be another 10,000 now. Add it.
Do those views count?
They're not illegal views. They're illegal aliens.
So their views count?
If they view us on YouTube,
it counts.
It counts.
We'll take it.
We could influence them in what they purchase.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Come on. Yeah, come on.
Maybe he needs BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.
Who does not sponsor us. Not a sponsor of the show, BetterHelp.
All right, so I couldn't leave out Florida again. And, Florida every week gives me something.
It seems to be a magnet for nuts.
It is. It is. It's the home. It's the hub. That's right.
The hub.
So, a man in Florida who was high on meth bites a canine dog and assaults a police officer. A Florida man is facing several charges after police say he assaulted an officer and bit the ear of a canine dog while naked.
I've never seen a naked dog. Do they shave their dogs in Florida?
No, the dog was dressed.
Oh, it says naked dog right there.
No, the man was naked.
Oh.
Deputies reported hearing strange noises when searching the yard and eventually located the man naked, covered in dirt, lying in a shallow body of water, making bird noises, pretending to be invisible.
Huh. That's odd.
I could just picture this guy laying in the mud. Tweet, tweet. That's probably more like tweak, 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 tweak. Police said when they tried to detain the man that he ran under a mobile home and then took off through the woods. When the canine team caught up to the man, he was on all fours, growling like a wolf. The man lunged at the dog, biting it on the ear, before police were able to subdue the man and take him to jail. Whew.
That dog needs to get some training.
You know,
The canine, not the human dog. Because why did that canine allow that man to bite him?
oh, I'm sure that
There's something wrong with that canine.
I'm sure that canine tore. That's how they subdued this man, was with that canine. I guarantee you that canine had a field
Well,
day.
you know how cops are. They probably threw the guy down and told their partner, the dog, get a piece.
Probably.
Kick him.
Well, he bit him. So my thought, remember when I was in high school, and you'll remember this too, because I believe it was on MTV. There was a commercial on TV. It was like an egg and a plate, and it's like, this is your brain.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They took a frying pan. It was like, whack, whack, whack. You know, this is your brain on drugs. Remember that?
Uh-huh.
I think if you told this story here, it would be more impactful than that commercial. Why should you not do drugs? Well, let me tell you a story about a man who got high on meth, got naked. When police were called and went looking for said man, he laid down in a puddle of water and pretended to be a bird, tweeting at them. When they didn't fall for his ruse, he took off running, hiding under a mobile home. When police caught up with him, the man takes off running from mobile home, heads into the woods, where the canine dog catches up to him, and he gets on all fours and growls like a wolf. Then he lunges at the dog and bites it on the ear. Like, that is more impactful.
Yeah.
Why not to do drugs?
I think what they ought to do to teach children not to do drugs is pick up some dude that we know is on drugs, give him fentanyl in front of the classroom, and let him OD.
All right, Jamie.
You don't think so?
No, I don't.
You don't think that'd be good for our children?
No. I think that would
scar them for life.
Scar them for life. They would then need better help who doesn't sponsor us, because they would be scarred for life. All right, Jamie. Tell me what you want to complain about this
All
week.
right. My political rant.
Time for Jamie's political
Actually,
rant.
I'm going to add to. I'm going off script for just a second.
Here we go.
Yesterday, I saw Joe Biden at a fire station in Pennsylvania.
Did you? You were in Pennsylvania?
I saw it on TV.
Oh, okay. Whew.
He got lost. And
Joe Biden got lost.
He started making up his own words like he tends to do.
Ago.
Like,
oh, yeah. Who's your
just-
booze?
And then right after that, I saw a segment on Trump. And he said he is going to make crime illegal.
Good. It's about time.
I started thinking about this, right?
It's about time. Like, we're letting people get away with crimes right now.
I decided they're the same person. They're never in the same room at the same time. Have you noticed that?
I don't think they're the same
They're
person.
the same person, dude. They have split personalities. One caters to the communists and one to the others.
It's more likely that Obama's pulling the strings and Biden's just the puppet.
I think Obama's now part of the puppet master elite.
Yeah, Obama and Big Mike.
Yeah. The Bush family.
Big Mike.
Mm-hmm.
She's my favorite.
Big Mikey.
Big Mike should run for president.
But that's my little teeny rant. Here, I just want to...
I don't know. It looked pretty big on Big Mike.
You think...
If I go with teeny.
I think New Jersey is stupid.
You think New Jersey is stupid.
Yeah.
Why, Jamie, do you think New Jersey...
Because they keep
The
electing
state
this
of New
dude,
Jersey.
Bob Menendez.
Bob Menendez. I know Bob.
From New Jersey, the senator.
I know.
He was hit with new charges Thursday, accusing him of accepting bribes from a foreign government and conspiring to act as a foreign agent, according to a superseding indictment. Now,
Was this his first?
No, this is the second. The other time, the FBI searched his house and found gold bars that happened to be stolen by a mafia dude, and it ended up in his possession.
I don't understand why we keep letting these guys get away with this. Like, why? Why are we letting these politicians get away with? If even honestly, I truly believe if you're suspected of selling state secrets and they can semi-prove it, that should be enough for you no longer to be a politician.
Jail.
Even if you don't go to jail, just get fired.
Jail.
Impeached. That's what you call it. Get impeached. Impeach them.
Well, they just prove over and over again that there's a set of laws for the rich and powerful and a set of laws for the rest of us.
I know, and the ones who abide by the other set of laws that don't apply to us are the ones who are making the laws, and they're also the ones telling us there's not two sets of laws. There's not two standards. There's only one standard.
It's our elected officials, regardless of party, saying, oh, We follow the law.
Well,
They're liars.
They're gonna lie to us. Why would they? What incentive do they have to tell the truth? If they're allowed to lie, by lying they make more money and they get reelected. What incentive does a politician have for telling the truth?
I think the regular American, 90% of America, realizes that we're at a cliff. We're looking over the edge, and right over that edge is revolution. It's coming.
Revelations.
Both, probably. If you read your Bible, you can see it coming too. But
yeah, it's bad.
We're the people that pay, and it's the middle class that pay for everything. We pay for the taxes that aren't paid by the rich. We pay for the benefits people that don't work benefit from. They say they're just redistributing our wealth to those that don't have it, but it's redistributing it to those that already have it too.
But this stuff hasn't worked throughout history.
You can't make someone else whole by punishing someone else.
It hasn't, but that's what I mean. That's what I'm getting at. Like communism, socialism,
Nazism.
It's never worked. But here's the thing, and we've said it on this show before. They want to create a division between people. They're working really, really hard at creating a racial division in this country. They're working hard at creating a division between politics, the right and the left. There's not a lot of middle aisle people anymore. But actually, I take that back. I think there is. I think there's a lot of people in the middle. But you only got to choose from the far right and the far left.
I think those
they
leaders
want to create division.
I think those leaders, and we have two of them right now. I'm not going to name them. I don't need any death threats from either side. But I think the right is so insane that being a moderate puts you in danger. I think the left is so insane being a moderate puts you in danger with the left.
But they won't, like I said, they want to create such a division because if they keep us divided,
they stay in power.
Yes, we can never come together to overtake. Division is good for them to stay in power. They don't do anything. They don't fix anything. Fixing it would solve something. Solving it would cut the money fund off.
So we need age limits and term limits.
100%. We've said that a million times.
I don't want Donald Trump changing Joe Biden's diaper in a debate. I don't
see Joe Biden debating anybody.
I think if they're the two after the primary still standing, that there will be no debates.
No, there won't be. Trump won't debate.
There probably won't
Trump
be any.
Would debate Biden, I think. And it would probably.
He's not going to benefit from a debate, neither is Joe, though.
No.
They've already got us so divided that they're going to get who they're going to get.
Well, I mean, people, you're either planning on voting for Joe Biden or Donald Trump at this point.
Right.
You're not. Nobody's talking about the other people. Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis. None of those people are close enough to take on Trump. Trump's going to be the Republican nominee, and if Joe Biden doesn't pass away, he's going to be the Democratic nominee.
Robert F. Kennedy off the ballot. He's good.
Well, Biden's trying to beat Nixon, so he might actually beat him.
Oh, I thought it was Truman he was after.
Want to get Truman this time. Lincoln will not beat me.
Donald thinks his running mate's a Big Mac. So.
Yeah.
And if we had age limits, those two would not be allowed to run.
Correct. But neither would Kennedy.
I'm okay with that too, though.
I like Kennedy. I think he'd be interesting.
His problem is he's not a true Republican or a true Democrat.
True.
But what a lot of people... I was reading about Kennedy. Do you know he was considered conservative when he was first elected? He became liberal as time went on.
I did know that.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
I thought he was more conservative than liberal. Actually, by today's definition of conservative and liberal, I think he's more conservative still than he is liberal.
Johnson introduced the liberal side of the Democratic Party after he killed Kennedy. Yes, I said it. Johnson was a part of the conspiracy. It's not a theory. It's truth. He was a part of that conspiracy to kill Kennedy. The government murdered Kennedy.
You think?
I think so.
You're probably right. Do you think we landed on the moon?
Race Car Spelled Backwards is a show for anyone who needs a good laugh. Join Jamie and Brad each week as they talk sports, racing, NASCAR, and just about any other thing. Race Car Spelled Backwards can be found on YouTube or any other major podcast platform.
I don't care.
You think we've?
I really don't care.
Do you? I don't think. I honestly do not think.
I think NASA, when it was big in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, was a way for the politicians to line their pockets.
I do too. But I don't think that we've ever put a man on the moon.
I have seen what looks like little specks that I was told by an astronomy professor was the lunar landing zone.
I mean, we could have landed.
Something was there.
Yeah, I'm just saying step foot, as in human life. We
I mean, look, they
we
killed.
can't send a sub to the bottom of the ocean without it imploding. I don't think we've sent a.
The government
rocket to the
killed
moon.
Kennedy. There is nothing outside the realm of conspiracy that I think our government will dip to the lowest level. They can be lower than mud to control us.
I agree.
It is not about our Republican democracy anymore. It's about control.
100% it's about control. And it's been about control because it's about control and power.
Mm-hmm.
If the ones who have the control have the power.
I mean, do you
and
think
the money.
we could go to your neighbor and convince him to run for Congress, even if we got enough of us middle-class people to donate for him to meet his qualifications? Do you think he would have a chance in hell being on the ballot?
No.
No, he wouldn't.
I know that because
We tried it.
been there, done that.
Yeah. No.
So,
They control who can run.
100% they control who. And they're
And
going to control.
Once you make it to even your state house level, they already own you.
Agreed.
You can slip in your county and city level, but once you get past that, they own you.
I mean, my trust for politicians are in the single digits.
I think America's is too. But we keep re-electing our own representatives. We think they're honest. Only in our district.
I don't. I
I don't
don't think
either.
the representatives of my district are honest. I'm just, that's what I'm stuck voting for is two guys I don't like.
You know, I once said I am not going to vote for an incumbent regardless of party. And I looked at the ballot and there were tons of people that were running unopposed. So what was the point?
Yeah.
You can't do it.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I don't, my trust for politicians are in the single digits and it's under 5. So I'm not, it changes.
Is that a 1 to 10 scale or is that a 1 to 100?
1 to 100
Yeah, I'm with you.
or 1 to 1,000. And I'm still in the single digits.
I think if you've been elected to Congress after 2 years, if you accidentally
corrupt.
got past the party, you're corrupt.
Yeah, they've turned you.
They own you.
You're not going to stay.
They got you a hooker, took pictures,
Something.
got you to snort some cocaine, took pictures.
Hanging out with Hunter. Never know.
Yeah, Hunter.
Yeah, they got you a
Well,
Hunter.
that's probably Hunter's job.
They got you a Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his job. I need you
He
to
would
go.
take pictures with his laptop and give you with his,
That
you
was
doing
on-
cocaine with
that
a
was
hooker.
that was on his laptop.
Yeah.
All the senators doing cocaine with hookers. All right, you ready to jump in the 1440 headlines?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So, Disney has not announced this, but sources close to it say that Disney and the NFL are currently in talks that could give the league stake in ESPN and put the NFL media rights under Disney. The Walt Disney Company and the National Football League are said to be in talks that could have the league take a stake in ESPN while putting the NFL media rights under Disney's control. The move would give Disney valuable rights to top-rated football games. I mean, we just said the Chiefs and Miami game was the largest streamed event in history in the U.S. Disney would have rights to that. They'd have rights to assets such as NFL Network and Red Zone.
So are we going to have to get Disney Plus to watch football?
That's what it sounds like.
Come on.
Here's what I'm thinking, though. ESPN just picked up the rights to SEC football, so every SEC football game is going to be on ESPN instead of CBS. So if they also pick up the NFL, and all I need is ESPN Disney Plus or something to watch the NFL and SEC football, that's great. I live in Atlanta, and I'm a Bills fan, so I got to have the NFL Sunday ticket just to watch my Bills play, right? So if I can get all of that with Disney Plus, that's great. My concern is more of Disney screwing up the NFL.
Oh, well, they can do that. They screwed up Star Wars and Marvel. Why can't they screw up the NFL?
That's what I'm getting at. So that's more my concern than anything.
I mean, we were already discussing this. Iron Man's my favorite Marvel character. Grew up reading the comics, watched the cartoons, the movies when they came out, and now all I get's the Avengers. I don't care about the other superheroes. Screw them.
Yeah, you don't like what you're saying. You don't like the Avengers.
No, I don't like them all together.
Yeah.
I wanted it.
He just wants Iron Man.
I mean, I enjoyed Captain America by himself. Why do I have to see them all together?
Wolverine.
Because Disney is cheap.
Wolverine is my favorite superhero.
And why can't he join the Avengers?
I don't want him in the Avengers.
I'm just saying, though. He's not invited.
I don't want him in the Avengers. I want X-Men to come back. I want Storm. I want Rogue. I want
Well, I'm just
Cyclops,
asking.
Magneto.
Why don't they invite him to the Avengers?
Xavier.
I hate the Avengers, but why? Why?
They've invested too much money in the Avengers. They can't get away from it.
But now we don't watch the movies because they suck, because they didn't put enough money into it,
I've legit only watched maybe at most 2 Avengers movies.
or they hired some damn tweaker to produce it or direct
I'm an
it.
X-Men guy. I hate the fact that Marvel went to Disney. Disney dumped X-Men and picked up and we're going full throttle Avengers. I don't like that. I want X-Men. Bring it back.
I want Iron Man. Bring it back.
Bring back X-Men and Iron Man, and we'll give you a shot, Marvel.
I might even pay full mark to go see it in the theater. Maybe.
I don't know about all that now. A genetically cloned monkey has survived into adulthood for the first time. The healthy 3-year-old named Retro is just the 3rd instance of a cloned primate to reach maturity. Researchers tweaked the process.
Tweakers again. There they are.
The researchers were tweaking and looking at the process, the same process they used to create Dolly the sheep in 1996. So they tweaked that process a little bit to prevent developmental defects associated with the cloned embryo. Dude, I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm not a huge fan of this cloning thing. Let's go all natural.
I like the process of making babies way better.
So, did you know thousands of animals, including carp, horses, wolves, and more, are cloned each year?
Why?
For research.
To research what?
Well, you can also clone your personal pet.
For a fee?
There is a company that for $50,000 they will clone your dog. This dog will look exactly like your other dog.
So I can have
It'll even have the same mannerisms.
I can have a red pit bull, a brindle pit bull named Ripken forever?
Yes. 50 grand a dog.
Oh, no. Sorry, Ripken, bye.
30,000 for your cat.
I mean, that's what a used Yugo costs now. I mean,
$85,000 to have your horse cloned.
I hate horses.
You hate horses?
Yeah.
I'm not riding a horse, man. I don't trust them. I ain't getting on anything with a brain.
They're real expensive.
Well, I can't turn that horse off to make it stop running, so
You pull the reins and
you jump.
you hit their...
That's me. I just jump.
If they don't pay attention to the reins,
It's a free-for-all.
you jam their ribs with the foot on the side you want them to turn.
Jump. I just jump. I jump and hope for the best.
When you
I've
walk
ridden a horse
around them,
twice.
you got to...
Twice in my life, I've ridden a horse. The
My
first
grandfather-
time I got thrown off.
My grandfather raised horses. You walk around them, keep your hand on their ass so they know you're there so they don't kick you. Or if you got an angry horse, when you're off to the side and touch their butt,
This is why I don't let
You see
Jamie
him
walk
kick.
behind me.
I ain't touching your ass.
I know where you are.
Have standards, Brad. Let your wife touch your ass.
I don't meet up to those standards. So, would you ever clone your dog, cat, or horse?
No. No.
50 grand, dude. You can adopt a horse for $25. I mean, not a horse.
My wife just finds
dog.
dogs on the street and they come live with us. I don't need a cloning device.
You got a wife that'll bring them home for you.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome. of
she
her.
feels bad for all animals that don't have a home.
Last week, a federal judge blocked JetBlue Airways from purchasing rival Sprint Airlines after the Justice Department sued to stop the merger. The DOJ argued that the lawsuit that the deal was anti-competition and would hurt consumers. JetBlue's proposed $3.8 billion purchase was shut down.
I think JetBlue and Sprint already hurt consumers just by flying
It's
airplanes.
the two worst airlines you can probably get on, right?
Yeah, just
So you're going to one crappy airline for $3.8 billion is going to buy another crappy airline.
yeah, because you know what their goal is at Sprint and
Raise prices.
to get you on a Peloton bike, and they can go 10 across instead of just 6. You're going to sit on a bicycle seat with your TV screen right in front of you,
Have you ever
holding
flown?
handlebars.
Have you ever flown JetBlue?
I have actually. I had JetBlue. I had a very good experience in. I bought a ticket on Sprint.
Spirit.
That was it. Spirit.
Sprint's
Red
phone
thing. It was very cheap. It was like $39 to go see my son in Boston.
I'm sure.
And then I read the reviews.
You have to fly the plane.
I flew Delta and just let that $39 ticket expire.
You
I you know,
may or may
that's
not.
before I read Google reviews, and I read them and said,
Yeah, you don't want to get on a Spirit airline. No, I mean, it's so the Department of Justice. I don't really know how I don't know how I felt about this, or I didn't know how I felt about it first. But they're looking out, I guess, for consumers. In their
well, they're
mind.
supposed to, and
Yeah.
maybe in this instance they are.
Yeah, because the airline has what they call, or the industry has what they call the Spirit effect. When Spirit has a discounted rate, the other airlines have to lower their rates to be competitive. So
That benefits
that
us.
benefits consumers. So what the DOJ is saying is that this purchase would not benefit consumers anymore. So I'm good with that. I'm glad. Thank you, Department of Justice.
You finally did something right,
Finally.
even though you killed Kennedy.
38 years and you finally did something. No, I'm not even 38. I'm 39. 39 years and you did the first thing right ever. So I'm
Think
proud.
about it.
I'm proud to be alive during this moment.
As a taxpayer, how do you benefit from paying your taxes?
How do I benefit from paying my taxes? I don't.
Supposedly they say
The
they
roads
put the
suck.
roads for us.
The
They
roads
suck.
suck. The school system sucks.
They say they
I have to I homeschool. Well, I don't. My wife does.
they say we're defended by our defense department, but
Offended.
they seem to keep losing money. Have you noticed that? $1 trillion here, $1 trillion there, $1 billion here, $1 billion there.
I mean, luckily my taxes, I'm paying them. That way we can continue to fund Ukraine. And
Humas. I
I
actually
think we're sending money to both sides now.
no, I've heard that.
It's just easier that way. We'll just
We're gonna win.
couple $100 million to you.
That's how you win.
Yeah, we're funding both sides, so we're guaranteed to be funding the
We
winner.
won the Israeli Hamas war.
100%.
The worst thing that could happen is a tie.
Yes,
We lost both.
Then
How
we
could that
didn't-
happen?
We're gonna have to invest more money on one side. To
All
prevent
right,
that
let's
from
give some
happening.
money to Lebanon. Shit.
Let's bring them into the flame. Let's see what else. All right, so everyone hates being stuck in traffic. Well, Wallet Hub has put together another list that I completely disagree with, but in this list, it lists the best and worst states to drive in. Now, me and Jamie have a little experience with driving across country. We drove through 23 states last February when we became the Cannonball Run champions in 44 hours and 3 minutes. Jamie, out of those 23 states, which state would you say was the worst state to drive through?
Georgia, New York.
I agree.
New York City is insane.
The only two states that have hand-free, don't text and drive laws are by far the worst two states I've ever driven in. Now, according to Wallet Hub, Iowa is the best state to drive in.
There's no one that lives there, of course. Your only problem is if you see snow on the road.
So the top 5 states, I would say, are pretty rural. Iowa, Georgia, Kansas, Oklahoma, Alabama. There's a lot of... Georgia's really busy in Atlanta. But once you get outside of the perimeter, outside of 285, it starts to get rural.
We only hit traffic once driving to California and back to Georgia from California. And that was in,
Georgia.
wasn't it New Jersey?
Yes, we didn't hit any traffic in New York. We hit traffic in New Jersey because they were
Leaving New York.
Yes.
At the start of our Cannonball Run.
Correct. That was our only traffic because
We didn't even hit
the
traffic.
they had a New Jersey police officer at every mile marker.
Yeah, and
Killed
their
traffic.
whole reason for being there was to cause traffic jams.
That's it.
We
'Cause
never
that's
saw
all
an
they-
accident.
That's all they did.
We just all of a sudden were stopped, and people were staring at a New Jersey state trooper. Even in California, where they talk about LA traffic, of course, we were only there 24 hours. We didn't hit any traffic in California.
No, and people in California fly.
Dude, we saw people texting, drinking their latte from Starbucks doing 100 miles an hour.
So they got New York.
No accidents.
New York is the 27th best state to drive in.
Yeah, I know. Maybe outside
California
New York
is
City.
the 46th best state to drive in. So they're in the bottom 5.
We didn't experience
Hawaii
that.
is Hawaii is the worst state to drive in America.
Never driven there. So.
Massachusetts was 45th.
Yeah, Massachusetts is horrible.
Colorado was 36th, which, I mean, Colorado, we drove in, there was a lot of ice there, so that sucked. Pennsylvania was the longest state I've ever driven in my life. I never
Dude,
thought it
what
was
the
gonna end.
hell was up with Pennsylvania?
Well, we were getting 12 miles a gallon, so
What did we
didn't
fill
help.
up 3 times in that damn state?
Let's see.
I was so happy to see the West Virginia border.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, Oklahoma, what a bad state to drive through. We pay like $30 in tolls to drive through Oklahoma, but they had the nicest roads. It was a little sketchy at night. There was no light whatsoever, but they had nice roads. They were nicely paved.
It was windy as heck, dude.
Yeah, but the roads
Holy
were
cow.
nice.
All we could see was sagebrush and
Florida
oil
is
pumps.
16th. People in Florida drive
can't drive.
1,000 miles an hour.
They're probably the problem we have in Georgia half the time.
I think Floridians, the natives, can drive. It's all the out-of-staters that can't drive.
But Ohio's rated 7th. Do they send their stupid drivers to Florida?
That's the ones.
What about Indiana? Where are they rated? They're 11th.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
You disagree with that one too?
Too
huh?
many tickets they send you to
Texas is
Florida?
9th. That's not. No, I've driven through Texas. It sucks.
Oh, Texas, Houston and Dallas have horrible traffic.
Yeah, Dallas is like Atlanta.
Did you notice that Houston and Dallas, if you didn't know where you were at, are the same places? It's
I've
flat
never-
with a tree occasionally.
I have been to Houston.
I don't think they have any building codes. You got mansions,
don't.
trailer, farm. Mansion, trailer, farm. Downtown.
Yeah, there's no building codes.
Wow.
Hey, did you know the Panama Canal is being reduced on how many vessels they'll let come through?
I thought they widened it, though, for bigger vessels.
So the Panama Canal, officials of the Panama Canal have announced that they will be reducing the daily numbers of vessels allowed to transit the canal due to drought conditions. Officials are going to limit vessels to 24 versus the 36 that go through normally this time of year.
Okay, whatever.
Well, no, I mean, the reason I bring this up is because
They just-
40% of all of U.S. container traffic goes through the Panama Canal. Roughly $270 billion worth of products are going through the canal annually.
It's not real. It's fake.
It's going to increase
It's going to
products
increase
here.
our price.
We're going to.
That's
We were complaining last week about inflation and how it's increased pricing.
It's just
I'm just letting you know, pricing is going to go up again, guys, on everything.
it's the Bilderbergs.
I mean, we're already having major issues at other canals, like the one in Egypt right now is barely letting anybody
don't
through.
forget the people that control us today are in Davos, Switzerland, deciding how to screw us over
Right now.
right now. And that rooster out there is pissed off. Oh, that's a dog.
Rooster.
Ugh. Is that rooster out there barking?
It sounds like it.
Wow.
You never heard a rooster bark?
I hear one barking now. Wow.
That's my rooster. That's Kirby, man.
I got Kirby at home.
He barks.
Dalmatian pit bull.
All right, Jamie. Let's stop into the advice section. Let's give some people some advice, mate.
Dear Brad.
Dear Brad.
Dear Brad. Dear Brad, I'm in a long distance relationship with a man.
Are you?
And I was with in our early 20s. We are now 38 and 40. I plan to move out of state to be with him in a few months. Things have gotten very intense very quickly. Something we have both been aware of and are okay with. Well, why are you writing to Brad?
Yeah.
However, he has an ex whom he broke up with about a year and a half ago. Their breakup was tumultuous. When she came up in conversation about a month ago, I asked if things had gone differently that night. Do you think you'd still be together? He answered with a pretty confident sounding yes. Just yes. He also described her as having been a mother figure to his 10-year-old son, and described her children as being like siblings to his son. They were together for 3 years, although during this time they did break up and get back together. She also cheated on him, but he was adamant about making things work after that. Brad, what should I do?
So is he wanting to make it work with her now?
It appears like no, he's with this other chick.
I mean, if he's moved on and they're divorced and they've split up and they've said their goodbyes, then
Sounds like he's still holding a torch, though.
I mean, he's been with this chick for
Forever. Well, apparently for 3 years out of their
20
long-term.
years.
Yeah.
For at least 20 years that they've been together, maybe. We're going to say between 10 and 20 years. So he's called this woman mother figure to his kids. I mean, he's obviously like a father figure to her kids.
Their kids are like brothers and sisters.
Yeah, so I think he's going to have some residual feelings. And it's just going to take time. Like, if she really cares about this guy, she'll give him time to move on.
Do you think he was boning her or they were just friends?
It doesn't say that he was cheating on his wife with her. It just said the wife cheated on him.
Is it a wife or just a girlfriend, though? Was it a blended relationship type thing?
I'm thinking it's a blended marriage.
Or were they just friends and they weren't boning each other?
You're confusing me now.
I just like say boning.
So what should she do?
What do you think she should do, Brad?
I think she should just download Tinder and start over.
You know, you're probably right, because it sounds like this dude still has a torch for his old mate.
I mean, honestly, she should, if she can't let it go and give him time to move on, if she can't move past it, then she needs to let him go, and she needs to move on for her own well-being, because she's obviously going to have this issue forever.
Well, it sounds like they both have issues, because I don't have an ex-girlfriend that if my wife said, I don't know what happened this one particular night. Something crazy happened. But if my wife said, if something had gone different with that one night, would you still be with blah, blah, blah? I wouldn't go, yes.
No.
So this dude's still holding a torch.
A big one. Just say it confidently. I wonder what happened that night. You think
maybe that's when he caught her cheating.
Oh, yeah. Maybe. Yeah, she got drunk, was sleeping with the pool boy. That's what I think.
Good. I mean, sure, why not?
He walked in.
Said, dang it. If I could get...
I'll never live up to this.
I had a few more inches.
And then he called his... So you think him and this other chick were friends and keeping in contact?
Well, she must have been. A long-distance relationship since our early 20s. So this happened... Either
so he was boning her while his wife was boning the pool boy. So they've all been cheating.
That's what it sounds like.
Oh, well, just stay.
It's a free for all.
You get what you get. Like,
you
home wrecker.
Here's an idea. Maybe you should sit down and read the Bible, and then you can get right with yourself and with God before you start bringing in these other women and these children and these blended crap. Figure out what you got to do. And if you're an atheist, talk to BetterHelp. Not a sponsor of the show. Someone's going to Google BetterHelp, not a sponsor of this show.
Yeah. She also cheated on him, but he was adamant about making things work after that because he was cheating on her with
whoever dear therapist is.
Yeah.
Dear Brad.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think she's just, I mean.
It sounds like a big salad of.
Yeah.
It's just a big mess.
This is a swinger party gone wrong.
It's a salad of codependency is what it is.
Upside down flamingos.
Yes, there's just a whole mess of... You know what, guys?
Pineapples and flamingos gone wild.
If you listen to Brad, I'm going to throw in my 2 cents. Call the whole thing off. Do you think?
They've been doing this crap for 20 years, right?
Yeah, they're just in and out, in and out.
Yeah, it hasn't worked yet.
They're codependent on each other.
Yeah. I just say move on. Like, really, I do.
You're not made for each other, or
it would have worked 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It didn't work 20 years ago. It ain't going to work 20 years later. So, pack your bags.
Can you imagine being the woman
go to church,
that asked your advice?
Games.
She's asking your advice.
Why would you ask my advice?
She's been 20 years off and on with this dude. And now she's upset that there's an issue with an ex of his that had to be while they were technically together.
But we don't know. I mean, married or not.
It's a mess.
I'm thinking he was married. So they met in high school. He moved off to college. She stayed home, worked at the Walmart. They carried on a long-distance relationship for 20 years. While he was at college, he married the head cheerleader. She never left her boyfriend, who stayed home in the hometown working at the Ace Hardware. So that's who she's cheating on, her college love, with the Ace Hardware guy. He's cheating on his college love
Chick-fil-A
with the
girl?
Walmart cashier.
Oh, yeah. The greeter.
No, that's her mom, probably. Her grandma. Well, you got to be a grandmother, I think, to be a greeter now.
That's spaghetti.
They have term limits on greeters.
You know what that is?
Limits.
That's spaghetti with no sauce is what that is.
This whole thing is spaghetti sauce.
Yeah, it's
spaghetti sauce on a white t-shirt. This is a mess. Get out, run. I mean, you're never going to be able to let any of this stuff go. So just move on. Really, it's not that hard, man.
You're not right for each other.
You're not going to be happy. Did you read the response from the other person? Was it any good?
No. That's not a response. That's how badly they need your advice, Brad.
No, it's somebody else.
Dear Brad,
I need your help.
I have a problem with a friend. I'll call her Shelly. So, I don't think they made up a name. I think it's really Shelly's problem.
Probably.
I have a problem with a friend that I am stumped by. I've known Shelly for about 4 years. We met when we lived in the same city at a mutual interest event in the writing community. At this particular event, I was kind of a welcome committee, making people feel at home, especially newcomers. I'm pretty comfortable in that role, but I think it might have been the basis of my problems now. After seeing Shelly at this reoccurring event a few times, I asked her if she wanted to go to another writing event with me. I knew from my conversation with her that she was depressed. She was upfront about her depression, her medications, and etc. She was also very involved with a number of 12-step programs such as AA, Debtors Anonymous. I felt like I kind of liked her and that it might be cool to go places together. Although I'm friendly, I'm pretty much a loner. I like being by myself most of the time. I only have 2 friends I'm comfortable enough to just hang out with. Put my feet up on them when we're on the couch, kind of pals.
Ew.
I wasn't positive about getting closer with Shelly, but it did work out in its own way, and so we continued to attend events together for a few years, about twice a month.
Oh, they were dating.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He or she doesn't want to say it. I'd let her know about an upcoming reading or other event. She never looked for events on her own or for herself. She waited for me to get in touch. We would go out to dinner first, then to the event. I always drove, I always paid, and I almost always kept up the conversation. I would try not to prattle, but I always felt like I had to keep things going. I also felt like I was richer and luckier than her, so okay, no big deal. There were moments when I felt very good about her, actually. When I'd look back later after I dropped her off at home during our dates, he said it,
yep.
Our dates, there you are.
Finally.
However, I mostly felt lassoed into her unhappiness. Most conversations were her saying that she was currently devastated about blah, blah, blah. This could be minor or monumental, from her leaking roof to her father's illness. The times I tried to improve a situation, recommending a handyman, taking photos of some items she wanted to sell, and so forth, it just never worked out. There was always a problem. Some reason why this all stalled. I learned not to jump in with solutions. There weren't any. Later, when she would refer back to our dates, she would say how fun they were and how I really got her. I never felt that when we were together. Then I moved to another state. I was somewhat relieved to leave her behind. We'd email a little. I visited the old town twice. The first time was a quick overnight stay at her place. That was a mistake.
Obviously.
I asked way in advance. I brought my own futon and bedding and towels, and I took her out to eat. She didn't move one thing in her cramped and cluttered home from my little bed. She complained for a while, and then I tried to sleep. I was very uptight. I left at 5 a.m. the next morning and ducked down to a park until the daylight came out. The next visit back in town, I stayed at a B&B, and I only saw her in a group, although I drove her to the group. Well, Brad, there's a whole bunch to unpack there.
Phew. What's the question?
How can she fix it? How can he fix it with Shelly?
He can't.
Shelly seems like a narcissistic, selfish girl, doesn't she?
No, actually, I think this guy's crazy. I think this guy's the crazy guy.
Oh, I think they're both crazy. This chick does nothing.
This guy wrote 3 pages to ask me
I skipped a page.
How to save his relationship that he won't even call a relationship. He's the problem. No, he can't save it. There ain't nothing he can do.
Stay away from Shelly, dude.
If Shelly's lucky, he'll stay away. He sounds like, you ever seen that movie American Psycho?
Yeah.
That's him. I guarantee you, the guy who wrote this, whatever his name is, Reefer Chiefer, whatever.
Why?
I guarantee you, this guy is a psychopathic killer.
Don't you think
serial
Shelly's
killer.
a user, though?
Maybe of the meth, but that's about it.
I mean, what's wrong with her?
This guy's she need to consider herself lucky. She's just an unhappy.
She's just looking for a free meal?
She's just an unhappy person. You're not going to make her happy. She's an alcoholic. She's been through the 12-step program a couple
every
times.
12-step program there is, apparently.
Yeah, I mean.
12 times 12 is 144 steps.
He needs to move on before he kills her.
We're back to codependency, aren't we?
She needs to consider herself lucky that he left her.
He could kill her. It sounds like she's one of those hoarders. Just leave her in the trash in her house.
Yeah, I mean, just move on, man. That's all.
Shelly.
Just move on. Leave Shelly alone.
Shelly.
Shelly don't like you.
Michelle.
You don't like Shelly. You're happy to be gone. So, all right, that's all I got this week,
The
Jamie.
hoarder, Shelly.
Is that all you got?
That's all I got, man.
That's all you got. All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching the show. We greatly appreciate you watching.
I got 2 turntables and a microphone.
No turntables and 2 microphones.
That's where it's at.
Make sure you share this show on social media. Share it with your friends. Follow us on X. We're at Car Backwards.
This is where it's at.
That's where it's at. No turntables, 2 microphones. That's where it's at.
Where it's at.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out. Check out our other shows. Check us out on Spotify. Make sure you rate us. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review. Make sure you listen to our other show, Race Car Spelled Backwards.
Premiering when?
Season 3 will kick off in February after the Daytona 500. You can email us. We're loosecannons44@gmail.com. Loose Cannons 44 is an RCB media production. Other than that, y'all have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
You've just listened to Loose Cannons 44, a RCB media production. Thank you.